Lawrence, a Republican.
Good morning, Congressman.
Good morning.
I would like to ask why the Black Caucus does not take a stronger position on the drug war. Certainly, everyone in that caucus knows Michelle Alexander's the new Jim Crow. I mean, you got an unwieldy prison population made up enormously of black males, and then we wonder why Baltimore goes up in flames. I mean, I understand that you probably are not enthusiastic about supporting the drug war, but how seriously is the Black Caucus against it? Thank you very much, sir.
Well, thank you very much for that observation. A very important point that you make, and in fact, we are in the midst, the Congressional Black Caucus, as well as Democrats and Republicans in the House and in the Senate, in engaging in a serious effort to reform our criminal justice system, to deal with the problem of mass incarceration that you pointed to in your question. We've got more than 2 million Americans right now who are incarcerated in this country. Now, we've got 5% of the world's population. 25% of the world's incarcerated population is here in America. We imprison more than anyone in the world in a manner that hurts our economic productivity, results in a loss of human capital, has a disproportionate impact on the African American community, the Latino community, but hurts America. And it's the failed drug war that is largely responsible for giving us the explosion in incarceration. And the good news is that you have an opportunity, because people on the left and people on the right believe that mass incarceration has resulted from failed government engagement in a way that has hurt America, and that we've got to do something about it, beginning perhaps with dealing with the issue of mandatory minimums that have attached to the war on drugs in a very irresponsible way.
How quickly is bipartisan legislation moving? Might this get passed this year?
I think there's real hope that something is going to happen. In fact, just yesterday, Senate Republican Rand Paul met with members of the Congressional Black Caucus to discuss strategic efforts as to how to move legislation forward. Our chairman, Bob Goodlatte, in the House Judiciary Committee, has indicated an openness and a willingness to move legislation forward to deal with our criminal justice system in terms of the civil forfeiture reform efforts that are underway, where the government can take the property of the American people in the absence of a conviction at the very beginning of a criminal investigation. That seems inconsistent with our notion of innocence until guilt is proven beyond a reasonable doubt. Dealing with the mandatory minimum issue, making sure that people can successfully re-enter society once they've paid their debt through imprisonment or other forms of punishment. They should not have a scarlet letter attached to them so that they can be unproductive. And so I'm very optimistic that we will tackle this issue during this Congress, hopefully this year.
What kind of welcome did Senator Rand Paul get from the Congressional Black Caucus? Is this the first time he's talked to the group?
Well, I think he's had informal conversations, and of course he's working closely with Senator Cory Booker and others on the Senate side in trying to deal with criminal justice reform. And there's a whole host of others. Senator Mike Lee, for instance, has been actively engaged on the Republican side in partnership with Democrats in the Senate. And it was a very warm discussion. It was a thoughtful and strategic discussion, and it was policy-based.